Hello all of you. Today we will start with the module 4, that is IP security. So till now we have studied the different application layer, how exactly the information or the data can be sent from the sender to the receiver, or a client to the server, or from server to the client. And there are different protocols that we have seen in the different layers, like application layer, transport layer, network layer. Now we are going to see the IP security in the module 4. Now exactly what is this IP security, and how it can be useful while during the transmission of the data, that we are going to see in this lecture. So what is the IP security? First, in your mind there will be the question, what is this? What is this IP security? So it is a framework of open standard to ensure the secure communication over the internet. So in a short, we can say it is the network layer internet security protocol. Okay, so we can say it is a ISEC. Okay, so IPsec. So it is nothing but the internet security protocol. So now whenever you are transmitting the data from you to your nearby PC, or you can say over the internet, now you must know, or you must have that surety that your data should be transferred securely. Okay, for that purpose we are going to use the IP security. So it is a framework of an open standard to ensure the secure communication over the internet. Okay, so what is this IPsec service? So IPsec is nothing but what? IP security. Okay, in the short form of the IPsec. Okay, it is nothing but the IP security. Okay, so what exactly is this? So here is the internet, or we can say intranet. So this is the internet or intranet. So internet is nothing but you can build your own intranet in your campus. So that is called as the intranet. That is nothing but your local network. So what, while transmitting the data, we have seen we are adding the different headers. Suppose from the application layer, so it come. So we are adding some data link layer. From the data link layer, then we are using the we are using the data header. Then we are using the transport header, then network header. So each header contain the information of each and every layer. Okay, suppose like routing information, like node information. So what exactly it happens from internet? So we can see the IP header. Okay, and the upper layer of the data. Okay, so IP header and upper layer of the data. Now what happened in that? In the IP header, whereas we are using one more header, that is IPsec header, where we are enable the IP security. Where we enable the IP security, then we are using the one more header, that is a IPsec header. Okay, so what happened here? So in this IPsec disable host. In this layer, what happened? We have disabled the IP security. Okay, but here we have, in this we have enabled the IP security. So while when you are using the enable IP security, then we are using one more header, that is a IPsec header. And now whatever the data transferred through this path, that is nothing but the secure IP packet. So your packet should be securely sent from receiver to transmitter. But if when you are not using, or your IPsec is disabled, then whatever the data is transferred, that is a IP secure packet. So whatever the data which is sent, which is not secure. So I hope you understand what is the difference between the IP security header. When you are, while transmitting the packet or the frame, you are using the IPsec header, that is your data should be transferred securely. Now IPsec. So what is this IP security? So it is a general IP security mechanism. It provides authentication, very obvious, then confidentiality and a key management. So what is these three main things that IP security provides? First, authentication. So whatever the data is transferred, that is a authenticate data. Okay, that is not duplicate or any other malpractice. So this is a authenticate data. Then confidentiality means what? I want to say that data should be a secure. I want that data should be secure, so no one should hack them, or no intruder should come inside it and can uh, hack the data, and your data security should be lost. So the confidentiality between the receiver and the transmitter should be there. and the key management. Okay, so the key management is also very important aspects according to the IP security. Application to use over LANs across the public and private WANs and for the internet. So it is used for the different purpose, like sorry, it can be used over the LANs, WANs, okay, for the internet security. Now, what is the IPsec application? Now, what are the application of this IP security? Why we are going for this IP security? So here I have mentioned few applications. So IP security provides the capability to secure the communication across the LAN. Okay. So across private and the public LANs and across the internet. So on the LAN, public or private WAN, that is a wide area network, local area network, and also over the internet. So it can be applicable in all these different networks. So secure the branch office connectivity over the internet. So that is very important application. Now it secure the remote access over the internet. Okay, we are taking the remote access of the routers, then different PCs or different servers. Whenever we are taking the remote access from the different locations, so there should be a secure communication between us, because so many times there is a very confidential information we are sharing during this communication. Now establishing the intranet, establishing the extranet and intranet connectivity with the partners. So while we are connecting, suppose I want to connect the LAN, or I want to send some information in the LAN connection, that is in a local area network. So at that time also there must be a secure connection. So this IP security, if you enable the IP security, so there should be a very secure communication between the intranet, or we can say the extranet. Now enhancing the electronic commerce security. Okay, electronic commerce security means what? So many times we are doing during the online transactions. Okay, we are over the Google Pay or different UPI applications, we are sending the money to our friends. Okay, while at that purpose there should be very confidentiality is very important. Okay, so on that purpose, or in the so many shops there are that exchange machines, electronic machines, where we are doing the swapping machines, we are swapping our cards and we are sending the data. So there should not be having any trouble when we are swapping our cards. Your pin code or your information should not be hacked. So these are very data should be go on a secure manner. So this is very important while doing the commerce, electronics commerce security is also very important. Okay, now security associations. So one of the most important concept in a IPsec is called as a security association, that is called as a short SA, and the defined in a RFC 1825. So these security associations are the combination of given security parameter index, that is the SPI, and destination address. Okay, so it depends on the what two matters, the two things, that is the security parameter index and destination address. So this security communication, or sorry, associations are a one way. Okay, it is also one, it is only one way. So a minimum of two security associations are required for a single IPsec connections. Okay, so obvious. So there are few parameters including while security association. These are authentication algorithm and algorithm mode, encryption algorithm and algorithm mode, key used with the authentication and encryption algorithm. Okay, so these are the parameters includes in the security association. Then few more: lifetime of the key, then lifetime of the security association, source address of the SA, and sensitivity level, that is a secret or unclassified. Okay, so these are the parameters which are required for security associations. Okay, so how by using those we are having the communication between the transmitter and receiver. Now here I have shown the IP security scenario. So I hope you understand from this diagram very clearly. So we'll go for the IP security scenario. Now you can see here user system with the IPsec. So this is the person, or we can say this is a person which is having the IP security enable. Okay, now he is sending the one packet or the data over the internet. So that packets contain IP header, then IPsec header, and your secure IP payload. So that is nothing but your data. Okay, now I am sending this packet or the data over the internet. Now this come over the public or private network. So public, that is the internet, or we can say the LAN, anything. Now from there it can be distributed to the different location or over the networking devices like routers, switches, and from there it will be reached to the particular person. Okay, so actually I want to send the data from here to this or this to this. Okay, so what happened, the communication between that, it is shown here. Now we are here now in the public or internet. Over this should be sent over the routers. Okay, now what happened at the router, again the same packet will be sent to the networking devices. It should be a router or switch, that is the IP header, IPsec header, and secure pay IP payload. Similarly, the both the same packet should be sent over the routers, okay, on these networking devices with the IPsec. They are also having the IP security. Now while reaching this packet here, that IP security header is now removed because this is already reached to the particular destination securely. Okay, and now the actual information is received by the that particular person. So this is A, and I will say, and this is B and C. So the B and C will receive the information with a secure manner. Okay, so this information on the both the sides, this and this, it can be received very securely. So this is how exactly the IP security scenario. Scenario of IP security uses. Okay, so what are the uses? An organization maintain the LAN at a dispersed location. So at the different location, the organization maintain his LAN network. No secure IP traffic is conducted on each LAN. Okay, no secure IP traffic is conducted on each LAN. IPsec protocols are used. These protocols operate in a networking devices that connect each LAN to the outside world. Okay, so each LAN is connected to the outside world. What is the meaning of this protocol? So these protocols we are going to see in the coming slides. So these protocols operate in a networking devices. So which are the networking devices? Like routers and switches, they are having those protocol, and that connect each LAN to the outside world. So now this LAN or your particular LAN is connected with the different WAN. So from your organization, our college is one LAN, and we are connecting to the other college. So over the internet networking devices, we are connecting to the different college like routers and switches. Okay, now the IPsec networking devices will typically encrypt and compress all traffic going into the WAN and decrypt and decompress the traffic coming from the LAN. What exactly the IP security networking devices will typically, what does it does? So it typically does what, it encrypt and compress. Okay, it encrypt and compress all traffic going into the WAN. So whatever the data we are sending from LAN to outside the world, so it should be encrypted. Okay, so whatever the data is we are sending from our LAN to outside world, so the data should be encrypted and also compressed. So your speed will be increased and your data will be secure. Similarly, whenever the data is coming from outside world to your LAN, so at that purpose, so whatever the data should be decrypted because it is already sent by encryption, and while coming or while reaching to your node, it should be a decrypted. So it perform the operation of decryption as well as decompress. Okay, so whatever the data, it should be decompress and traffic coming from the WAN, so from the outside world. So whatever, these are nothing but the scenario of IPsec uses. So whatever we have seen in the previous diagram, that should be explained over here. Now, why not use the IPsec? So the process overhead to encrypt and verify each packet can be a great and added complexity in a network design. So why, your might be question, so why everywhere this IP security cannot be used? Okay, we can use this IP security everywhere, but there are some limitations. We cannot say limitations, but we have to do some advanced things to do this IP security. So that is, first is what, processors overhead to encrypt and verify each packet can be, it is great. So every time that uh, processor has to done the operation that the data should be encrypted or each packet should be verified, so the load on the processor should be increased. Okay, so while load on the processor increases, means what, speed decreases. Similarly, so it should be a some complexity increases while designing that network. When you are going to use the IP security, there should be a increase in the complexity of the network design, so it is become more complex. Now, what are the benefits of this IP security? So, in a firewall or a router provides strong security to all traffic crossing the parameter. Okay, so in a firewall, router provides the strong security to all traffic crossing the perimeter. In a firewall, router is a resistance to the bypass. Okay, so this in a firewall router, that is a resistance to the bypass in a below transport layer, hence transparent to the application, can be transferred to end user. Okay, can provide security for individual users. Okay, it can also provide the security for the individual users also. Suppose I am using this I have my own PC, so while using the IP security, it can provide the security for the individual users also. Secure routing architecture. Okay, so whatever the routing architecture we are going to design, it should be a very secure. Okay, so these are few benefits of the IP security. Now here is some architecture that I have shown of the IP security. So you can see while using this architecture, and which is used two protocols, that is the ESP protocol and AH protocol. Okay, so uh, okay, that is nothing but encryption protocol and authentication protocol. So these are two protocols we are going to use here, that is ESP protocol and AH protocol. So encryption algorithm and authentication algorithm, the both are having here. So in the encryption algorithm, your data should be encrypted, and in authentication algorithm, your data should be authenticated, and it is goes to the DOI, and according to from those operation, it goes to the key management. Okay, so all these architecture we are going to design in the coming slides, or maybe in the next lecture. So I hope this is done for today. So IP security, what is the basic things of the IP security, so why it can be used, okay, and how it can be used, and which scenario we are going to use this IP security. So I hope you understand the actual concept of the IP security. So in the coming lectures, we are going in the more details, and how exactly it can be used, and which different protocols can be used in between in the IP security. So thank you very much for today's lecture.